Okay, so someone was asking about Lukaku, which I think is one we should look at as well. Lukaku currently was someone that wasn't on my radar. Then, of course, he had a good game week before the international break and a good game week after the international break. And at 11 million is slightly cheaper than Aguero, but is pretty much after Kane, one of the most expensive strikers in the game. I've always not been the biggest fan of Lukaku. Don't get me wrong, it's clear that he's a good striker. But when I've owned him, it's a bit like Hazard. He's not really performed when I've owned him. And this isn't based on any stats or anything at all. This is just a general affinity towards the player. Certain players I just haven't got on well with in Fantasy Premier League. One of those would be, what's his name? Coutinho. Whenever I had Coutinho, he didn't do that well. When I didn't have him, he did amazing. Lukaku, for me, is always going to be one of the best scoring strikers in the league. Do I think he's a better finisher than the likes of Aguero? I personally don't. I prefer Aguero and Kane myself, season long anyway. But Lukaku at the right time of the year can be a fantastic option. So far this season, out of 5 appearances, I believe the first game he didn't start though. So it'd be 4 starts. 15 attempts on goal, all of which have come from inside the box. 7 big chances in total, 9 shots on target. Now, that puts him top with Callum Wilson and Gabriel Jesus for big chances in total. As far as big chances scored, he's actually second to Mitrovic and joint second with Murray. So, on target, Lukaku is second after Mitrovic. Jesus also has 9 shots on target. So he is up there as far as stats go. But total attempts is a bit behind the likes of Aguero, Mitrovic, Jimenez and Callum Wilson. But he's not far behind Callum Wilson by any means. But with Aguero having that many attempts, I just feel like he should be scoring more in a season. Especially if I believe Aguero is a better finisher. As far as expected goals, Lukaku is actually highest on expected goals. I don't think he was last week. So he's got 3.15 expected goals, whereas Aguero's on 2.79. So both are outperforming their expected goal ratio, actually in the pluses for that. So both look in form, which is, of course, a plus. Whereas Callum Wilson is actually underperforming compared to the chances that he's had. Gabriel Jesus is severely underperforming. Mitrovic is overperforming according to the kind of chances he had. I've just seen Benteke's. He's really underperforming compared to the chances. Assists, Aguero has been bringing in assists, which kind of helps when he doesn't score. Expected assists wise, Firmino is actually top. Callum Wilson is there as well. Callum Wilson bringing in some assists. Aguero as well. Lukaku isn't really bringing much as far as assists is concerned. But that really doesn't matter if he scores enough. Expected goal involvement, Firmino is actually highest. Callum Wilson. But then Lukaku beats Aguero, but just. But as far as outperforming the expected goals, Aguero is outperforming it and doing better with the kind of chances and kind of assists that he's actually getting and getting points. So for me right now, with the season ticker the way it is looking, Man United have Wolves, West Ham and Newcastle in the next 3. So those are good 3 fixtures. They do then have Chelsea, but then it's Everton and Bournemouth before Man City. So that's not a bad run of fixtures. There could be goals there against Chelsea and Man City, of course, for Lukaku, but then you have a look at Manchester City's fixtures do turn after Cardiff and Brighton. You've then got Liverpool, Burnley, Tottenham, Southampton, Man United. So there is the possibility that, do you really want to risk not having Aguero for Cardiff and Brighton Hove Albion unless he's injured? But if he is injured, potentially you could then make a straight swap to Lukaku. He looks the best option in that kind of price bracket after Sergio Aguero.